In the last video we dealt with movement of character around the screen using keys. At the end of the video I demonstrated that there was a problem in the fact that when I move my character about I can walk through walls. Now that's not what we want in game, so I'm going to show you how we stop that happening. So I'm just going to close this down. I'm going to close down everything I got open on the screen apart from my player object, okay? And I'm going to add another event, and this time I'm going to check for a collision, because collision events are quite important events in GameMaker. So we're going to click the add event, and we're going to come down to the collision event, okay? And we're going to select objects, and we're going to tell or specify to GameMaker what do we want to check for when we collide with when we collide. What are we testing? Are we colliding? Are we sort of identifying what happens when we collide with a bullet, when we collide with a monster, what happens when we collide with a wall, whatever. And in this instance, we're dealing with wall collisions. So when the character collides with a wall. Okay. So what we want to do, we want to stop the character moving once we hit the wall. Okay. So in order to do that, we need to set a special built-in variable called speed, and we want to set the speed to 0 when it collides with the wall, when the player collides with the wall. So you can either type in speed in the toolbox at the top, or you can scroll down and come to movement commands. So there's the movements commands, and speed is the one with the 3 arrows. So I'm just going to select that, drag it on, okay, and it automatically defaults to 0. So what we're doing, we're setting the speed to 0. Okay, no need to take relative because we're not dealing with moving the object around the screen. Okay, we're dealing with speed, which is different. Okay, we only use the relative commands when we're dealing with character movement with keys. Okay, now you might think that might work, but it won't, and I'll demonstrate. So let's open up the game. And let's test my my character, and you can see that my character, even though I've set the speed to 0, still walks through the walls, and that is because we haven't made the walls solid. And if you remember, when I talked initially in the second video, I think that was, I talked about the different options that were available on the object. So I just double click the wall object, and you can see that one of those options is solid. Okay, so that is what we want to select on the tile. Okay, so now when it collides with any tile, it's going to be treated as solid, and it will set the speed to 0. This won't work, okay, it won't stop unless you set the speed to 0. So let's run it, and now let's see what happens. Okay, and now you can see that it stops my character as soon as it touches any wall. So that's how we stop characters and objects moving through walls.